China is for China. China is not for Africa.
Yo, man. Welcome to FKU Africa Podcast. This is your host here, Maneza F8, coming to you live in Cape Town, man. In the city of Cape Town, in the mother city, man. So, yeah, man. I didn't manage to record last weekend. I was a little bit busy moving from Worcester to Cape Town. So yeah, man, we're about to make big things happen here now. There's a lot in planning, as I've mentioned in my previous video. If you have listened to it, episode 98, I should think, it was about the billionaires here in Africa. So I did mention at the end of it that there's a project that I'm going to start with my brother Mels. So yeah, man, that's gonna be possible now that I'm in this side. So without wasting any of your time, I hope you are having a good time. I hope you are being blessed. I hope the spirits of your ancestors are still keeping you good, are still comforting you. To all the hustlers out there, I hope you still hustling strong. You know, hustlers don't sleep, they recharge. You know what I'm saying. So yeah, man, this is what it is. So getting to the topic of today. The topic of today is a little bit close to my heart because it's all about the kids that are being lost in the hands of crime and criminality. So we're going to talk about crime today in Africa, not only in South Africa, in the whole of Africa has been very much impacted about the levels of crime, the different kinds of crime, even the crimes that we never used to hear about. We only see them in movies, things like kidnapping, things like human trafficking, things like gang rapes. All these things we used to hear about them in movies or in the TVs. These things are here in our doorsteps now. There are a number of ladies who have suffered through being gang raped, some being killed through that. So this is a very touching subject, man. We all have experienced a crime, either directly or indirectly. I would think that if you are living in Africa, you must have experienced it. Even if it's true someone that you know, even if it's true someone that is close to you or we work with, it must have affected you. I've been somehow a victim of crime years back when I was working at prison. I used to work in prison as a correctional officer back in the days. So when I was working there, one night I was at work and I received a call around 11, and someone just called me and told me that my stuff are being taken, my house is being broken into. So I rushed back to see what have happened. So when I got there, I saw that they kicked my door open and they took my laptop, hard drives with my music that I was recording about to release at that time, my other phone that I had, computer screens, TV, shoes, all bunch of things. So I opened the case for sure, and nothing came out of it. So me and my friend that I won't mention, we hunt him down. We got ones that we know that are living among us, that we know that they are robbers. So we got one of them and we squeezed the truth out of him. He told us that he saw one of the stuff that was sold somewhere. So we did a follow up on that. we managed to recover most of the stuff. The only thing I couldn't recover was, I should think, the TV and the computer screen. So that's what I couldn't recover. Then I recovered most of my stuff, my hard drives, my phone, everything was recovered. So I've been a victim of that. I took those guys to the police station that have robbed me, have robbed my house. They did confess to the police, but to tell you, even today, there was no case opened. So when things like that start to happen, you find yourself in a position where you are caught between two worlds. If you should revenge yourself and beat these guys up, or you should just let go and they'll come back and steal again. So you get caught and you end up participating in the level of crime, because it's a crime going against someone that has stolen from you and beating them up. You need to let the justice work its part. But if the justice does not work, what you should do? So these are the kinds of things that we need to deal with. So the crime levels is skyrocketing. Recently, there was a situation in the mines in Krugersdorp where around 8 ladies were gang raped by the guys who were called Zamazamas. Zamazamas is the name of the people who are mining illegally. They are doing mine in the old mines that are no longer being used. They go inside there and go and mine, and the stuff that is still remaining around there, gold, platinum, whatever. So they make a lot of money with that. Most of them are the guys who are coming from Lesotho, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Malawi. So for us who are here in South Africa, we never even think of these kind of things before, because it was scary to go into the mines, because you don't know what will happen. You don't know if you're going to come back. So the level of hunger in the neighboring countries here, in our brothers from other countries around here, it's too much that they managed to open this path of going into the old mines and start mining and make themselves a lot of money into black markets. So what I'm talking about is a number of those gentlemen raped a number of girls that were nearby that place where you enter the mine. So they were there to shoot music video. They had a music video that they were shooting there. So it happened that the day that they were shooting the music video, the guys were coming out. So they took them in gunpoint and raped them. So there was a huge operation by the police and the police minister Bekicele that didn't go anywhere. We know that the situation of that operation was just a smoke screen for us. That seemed like they are doing something, because all the guys that were arrested that were mining, they are all out by now, if not most at least. But I should think that all of them, because I read that none of these guys can be connected to the rape for some reason. So none of them that were connected, they were taken because they are illegal. They are not documented to be in South Africa, so they were taken to prison. So they were supposed to be deported, but I know for a fact that most of them, if not all, are now out back in the streets. They are going back to whatever they do, which is mining. So this is what it is. So the thing that stresses me the most is the hate that we have amongst each other as Africans, because the level of crime wouldn't be this much if we still have the spirit of Ubuntu among each other, which is humanity. We've lost that ages ago. That was lost when we were gaining independence. Because during that time, most Africans were together. During the times where we were in struggle, we were still under the hands of the imperialists and the oppressors, which are the white supremacists. Yeah, during that time, we were together. We were fighting the good fight. We had the common goal that we were fighting towards, which is freedom. Now, after most of countries in Africa, they gained their independence, each one was for himself. We were all chasing gold. We were all chasing success. We were all chasing money. And we forgot the spirit of Ubuntu that we known by as Africans at large. So with love lost, there will be a high number of atrocities that will happen amongst each other, because if we lack love, it's easy for you to go to your neighbor and start shooting and start stealing and start raping, because you don't have love for one another anymore. So with that being said, we need to find deep in each other the spirit of Ubuntu and find love for each other. When you see an African, when you see, even if it's not an African, you see a fellow human being, just smile, just say hi. If you're in a position where you can talk, do talk. If you cannot talk, just say hello and pass. I'm not saying that people who are staying in the city where there's a lot of people who must say hi to everyone that you meet in the street, but with someone that you are in close contact with, that you are maybe you are helping, or you are in a taxi together, or you are in shop together, or you are buying stuff in the till. Those kind of people, those are the people that you must say hi, how are you, or stuff like that. This is how you put out love to those person. So whatever you put up, it's what you're going to gain. This is what I believe in. If you put and show love to one person, that person will smile. Maybe she was stressing, maybe he was having troubles at home or whatever. That person is gonna start smiling, and just gonna spread the same love that you send to her or him to another person. So the love is gonna be tripling. So you must make at least a chance or whatever that you can do to show some love to one another. This thing of people who are here in Africa, calling them foreigners, this is another issue for another day that I will discuss. I have someone that I'm going to bring to the podcast that we will discuss these kind of things about foreigners in Africa. Because if we're talking about undocumented people who are in Africa, who are in South Africa, we only talk about and chase out Zimbabweans, Malawians, Lesotho, Mozambicans, Botswanas, Namibians, if we have them. This is the only people that we are focusing on. We are not focusing to the Chinese. There's a lot of Chinese who are roaming around here in South Africa who are not documented. There are a lot of Asians, not only Chinese, a lot of Asians who are coming from places like Bangkok, which is Thailand, Philippines, Korea, and the Middle East. I don't even want to start talking about people from Middle East who are Arabs, who are now, we call them my friends, who opened shops all over here in South Africa amongst Ethiopians and Somalians. This is another issue for another day, but we should spread love and forget about this thing of thinking that it is possible to get rid of people who are not here from South Africa. It is not possible. This is not going to happen. You must deal with it. You must start embracing them and show them love. You're going to receive love back. There's a lot you can gain from people who are not from here in South Africa. There's a lot of wisdom. There's a lot of businesses that you can gain. Start seeing positive in that instead of start hating around people who are Africans and embracing Chinese, going to buy from Chinese and my friends shop who are Arabs from Middle East and also Somalians. So with this thing of crime, coming back to it, what are some of the solutions that we can think of pertaining that? Because we have we did have a death sentence here in South Africa during the times of apartheid. It was effective at some point, but people were being hanged for no reason most of the time without the proper evidence, without proper investigations. So I couldn't support that, but with the level that we are in now, I think we can start having conversation about it, at least. Conversation about it and start thinking on how we're going to combat this thing, how we're going to make sure that people are being properly imprisoned and put to death. Because if someone came into my house while I'm not there and rape my wife and also rape my little girl, I wouldn't think twice of putting a bullet in their forehead. I wouldn't even think twice. I would just shoot and then deal with that later. I would go to prison smiling because you took away my life. Those people are my life. You go and rape people that are close to me and kill them. I believe that you must be killed. That's justice. That's justice. That's not. If you commit a crime, you should have repercussions of some sort. So I believe that we should have a conversation about bringing back that sentence. But with the level of investigations we see now in South Africa, I'm really hesitant, really sticking to that point because police are incompetent at best. They don't know what they are doing at most. They mishandle cases, as we see now with the Senzo Muyiwa case, that how they messed that up, how they managed to mess it up and didn't collect evidence the proper way, and couldn't provide statements from the relevant people, and at the same time they have different dockheads for the same police in Joburg. So this just messed up. So it's not easy to support the death sentence if you don't have proper policing who's going to do proper investigations. We need to think of such things when a thing is undeniable. There is a video, or they were caught red-handed doing that, whatever they're doing. Not something that is mysterious, that is going to need investigations. We know that we cannot trust investigators here. So I couldn't really support that. I couldn't. So I don't think it will work. So what I'm thinking is, what can we do at this time, at this moment? What can we do? Because we know that our government, the ANC government, they are doing nothing to combat crime. Actually, I think they are benefiting from it. They're actually benefiting from crime. They have their tenders in these security companies. They got tenders in the gun shops and all these things. There's a lot that we don't know about how these things are happening. These security tenders, this ATT, who is getting money from that, who is getting money from these security companies who are putting cameras and all these things in our houses. Someone is benefiting from that. And the prison system is also benefiting. They have a lot of businesses that is happening in there. So this thing is complex, man. I think we need to have another party that will have stronger policies when it comes to crime. So the assignment that I will give you now is to go and look for parties who are contesting now for 2024 and look which parties got the better policies when it comes to crime. And that party is the party that we should support. Because ANC, it shows us that they don't care. There's nothing they can do. Here in Cape Town, the train line from Cape Town to Khayelitsha is closed by gangs. Gangs demand money from the people who are trying to fix that railway line. They demand money from those people, and they are asking them to stop working or they will kill them unless they bring money for protection. This thing is known. They have videos that they manage to record. It's all over the internet. If you haven't seen it, just go maybe on Twitter or Facebook and search Cape Town gang demanding money for protection in Prasa, to Prasa. So with that being said, it's really, really up to us now to change the game. We need to change it or it's going to be too late. We need to change the game. We cannot live like this. We cannot live in fear in the country that we call our own. It has to stop. Crime needs to be combated. Crime needs to be kicked to the bone. We need stronger policing. We need a stronger sentencing, and we need stronger prison systems. Because I've worked in prison, as I've said earlier on, and I see how these offenders behave and act in there. It's not really easy when we are new in prison, but when we are used to it, it's easy. It's like it's your second home. Some of the people that I know who were in prison, they would go home. It's like going home, it's a holiday, and then they will come back. And they know what kind of crimes they should commit. They don't commit crimes that will send them to prison for more than 3 years. They commit smaller crimes, and they will come back to prison. They will be there for like six months or a year or two. Then they will come back home for a holiday. They won't even stay for a month because they don't know what to do. They don't know how to act outside. They have no life outside. They will go back to crime and go back to prison. So we need to be strict when it comes to the prison system. Policing need to be visible, or we should need, if need be, we should use soldiers as well, because they are getting paid for nothing. They are doing nothing, those ones. So we need to use them. There was a program for correctional services where they taken a bit of soldiers who were doing nothing and put them in prison to go and work in there. So we should put them also in police services and stop letting people who are trained, who are soldiers, go out in the street and become the people who are robbers, who are doing heists, because that is happening as well. So yeah, man, check out the podcast also on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. To support the podcast, check out manezafa.co.za, and then you're gonna go to FKU Africa Podcast. There's a donate button there. Go and donate. It's a 30 rand that you can assist for us to get good equipment and proceed to give you the content and hire some people if we have or we can. So yeah, man, fikiria kwa undani nduku. Tamako.